Morning. After what I hope was a restful sleep-in after a very successful prom, I do have to say, I am so pleased to welcome everyone to the Ashburn Chapel for our annual service in memory of Kippy Liddle. As I noted in school meeting on Friday, we are honored to have Kippy's family in attendance today, along with Mr. Peter Aiken, the school's second headmaster, and other former faculty members and graduates of the school. Missy Dorsey, Kippy's sister, was in touch with me early in the fall about a gathering she was planning for the head of the Charles in October, 30 years after the accident that took Kippy from her family and so many who loved her. In our conversation, we got to talking about this service and the possibility of having her family attend for the first time, I believe. As any of us who have been at Brooks for multiple years know, this service has long been a signature moment in our school year. We've heard from faculty members, graduates of the school, and former faculty members on this day for the better part of 30 years, all thinking about Kippy, all thinking about Brooks School, and all thinking about the formative power of athletics. Thus, to have this opportunity to share the moment with Kippy's family and the distinguished guests who have returned to the school today is special indeed. When I learned that Kippy's family would be able to attend, I immediately hoped that we might somehow find a way to squeeze ourselves onto Liz O'Leary's very busy spring calendar. So busy that I know she came to Brooks School today straight from a 6 a.m. crew practice in Cambridge. We are grateful to her for making the time. A few words about Miss O'Leary. Liz O'Leary served on the faculty at Brooks School as athletic director and girls crew coach, among many other tasks and responsibilities, from 1982 to 1986. She coached with Kippy, as both started as faculty members at Brooks in 1982. Prior to her time at Brooks, Miss O'Leary attended and coached at the University of New Hampshire and was a member of the 1976 and 1980 Olympic crew teams. In addition, she represented the United States on 6 World Championship teams, medaling 3 times. She coached the 1988 Olympic team, along with 7 World Championship teams between 1985 and 1997. For the past 29 years, Miss O'Leary has been the head coach of women's heavyweight crew at Harvard University. Through these years, her crews have won 3 Varsity 8 titles, 1 second Varsity 8 title, and 1 Varsity 4 title in the Eastern Sprints. Her crews have received 15 NCAA team selections, have appeared in the NCAA championships 14 times, and were Ivy League and NCAA champions in 2012 and 2003, respectively. She earned a Coach of the Year honor in 2003 and is widely regarded as one of the finest crew coaches in the country. I don't think there is anyone better qualified to speak on this day when we have Kippy Liddle and women's athletics squarely in mind. Please join me in welcoming Liz O'Leary.
Thank you. Thank you, John. It's an honor to be here today. And I really appreciate your inviting me to join all of you for this service. It means a tremendous amount to me to see so many of my friends, my teammates, so to speak, in teaching and coaching who were here when I was here. Brooks is a school that is very close to my heart, was when I was here and remains so. Although it's been many years since being here, I have to say that I still feel close ties, still care very much about the school and the people connected to it. The community here has always been incredible. The caliber and the commitment of the faculty, the energy and the diversity of the students. It is impressive, and it is as inspiring now as it was when I was here 30 years ago. Certainly the faces have changed, and as well there are new, beautiful buildings, quite a grounds crew working very hard out there, I can tell. But yet in the midst of it all, still some classic and well-loved places at the heart of this campus that I remember fondly: Russell House, the Boathouse, and although it's a little different, this wonderful chapel. But what has certainly not changed are the core values and the school's commitment to offer a rich and challenging and meaningful experience to all who are on this campus. I was so excited to have been offered a job here. I had been running the club sports program at the University of New Hampshire, and I was still training for the U.S. rowing team. But the opportunity to come to this school, to work in admissions, to coach, to run a dorm was exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to work in an environment where teaching happened not only in the classroom, but in all aspects of your day and your life. Brooks gave me that much and more. I met and worked alongside remarkable teachers who were role models for me as much as they were for the students. Mr. Dunnell, Mr. McCahill, Mr. Chauvin, Mr. and Mrs. Perkins, and of course, the boys' rowing coach at that time and math teacher, Mr. David Swift, all welcomed me and supported me. And there were others, perhaps more familiar names to all of you, like Dusty Richard, Bobby Crump Burbank, and a young lacrosse coach named Mr. Packard. All of whom were and still are so invested in providing you with experiences and lessons and opportunities that are huge and challenging and rewarding and fun and will be with you forever. Now, I probably sound a little nostalgic to you here today as I say all of this and I mention these names, but I do sincerely feel so strongly about this school and the people who are here. I do have to admit, though, that when I was here, my most favorite part of the day came in the afternoon after admissions interviews and campus tours were over, classes were ending for the day, and team practices were all about to be in full swing. It was best in the spring season, of course, short as it may be this year, when we could walk down the hill to the boathouse and see the lake, which often seemed a little bit more windy and choppy than I wanted it to be. For instance, today, if you look out there, all of you who have practice this afternoon, it's windy and it's choppy still. I loved it when I could open the bay doors and pull out my motor, hook up the gas can, find my team, stretch, hear how they were, hear about their day, talk about our goals for practice, shove them off the dock in their shells and onto the lake, where we could spend the next few hours out on the water, learning how to row well, how to work hard, how to blend together, how to find speed and success. It was so much fun. As the girls' rowing coach here, I also had a wonderful assistant coach join me named Kippy Liddle. Her mom and her family are here today, and I am so happy to see them. Kippy was a Williams College graduate who was the captain of their rowing team. She came here primarily to teach history and to coach rowing. She was amazing. We ran a dorm together. She was kind and positive and generous. She was thoughtful. She was always happy, always. I remember her great big smile. Always enthusiastic, always willing to help, and certainly she loved rowing and really cared about our team and our athletes as much as I did. The accident on the Schuylkill River in Philadelphia early in the spring that took her life in 1984 was absolutely tragic. Now, when something that devastating happens, with time, we hope to learn, we hope to create something good and meaningful in Kippy's memory. Certainly this day, today, is one such moment. We always want to carry forward her spirit and her passion. Her parents, through U.S. Rowing, which is the national governing body for rowing, founded and funded a really important program to promote safety on the water. The goal of the fund is to encourage and enhance safety education for the entire rowing community. It's called the Kippy Liddle Safety Kit program. This program makes available to every single rowing coach in the country a kit to carry in our launches that includes life jackets, rescue blankets, an air horn, first aid kit, a flashlight, a paddle. I carry 2 in my launch, and so do all of my assistant coaches. And I check to be sure that they are there every single time I go on the water. In Kippy's memory, I ask each of you today to remember that safety comes first. Whether it's putting on a helmet whenever you ride your bike, fastening your seatbelt whenever you get in your car, checking the weather before you go out on the ocean or on the lake, and being sure that your life jacket is in your launch. Please remember that nothing is more important than your safety and the safety of those around you. Now, my other thought for this morning is this: life is about teamwork. All of you here, every single one of you, are involved on a team or 2 or 3. You play soccer, football, lacrosse, basketball, field hockey, you row, you run. All of you are also on many different kinds of teams. You perform in a play, you play an instrument, or you're part of a musical group. You study as a team in a lab or in a classroom. And you and your dorm mates are a team. We are all on a team in one way or another. Being a teammate in any capacity means that you have a chance to work together, to aim toward a goal, to build confidence, trust, and faith. You and your team learn how to fail and come back stronger. You learn how to win with grace and pride. You learn how to respect competition and how to be competitive yourself. The experiences that you have on your many different teams here at Brooks teach you so much, and in doing so, give you the opportunity to test and learn and grow. I say there's nothing better than being on a team, being a teammate, playing a game. I put quotes up in our locker room all the time. I know for sure that there are many who can articulate thoughts far better than I can. We have 2 great big whiteboards on our brick walls in the boathouse. One has the core circuit, what time the bus departs, a plea to clean up the mess around your locker. The other's filled with quotes and inspirational messages, not just from me, but from the athletes to each other. Some are funny, some are tough, but all are really important. So as I encourage teamwork in all that you do, as I ask that you take care of each other, and as I challenge you to grow and learn with and through all of your teammates, I leave you with a quote that's probably familiar to many, but worth repeating nevertheless. It's called "Love the game." Love the game. Love the game for the pure joy of accomplishment. Love the game for everything it can teach you about yourself. Love the game for the feeling of belonging to a group endeavoring to do its best. Love the game for being involved in a team whose members can't quite see, who can't wait to see you do your best. Love the game for the challenge of working harder at something than you ever have, and then harder than that. Love the game because it takes all team members to give it life. Love the game because at its best, the game's traditions will include your contributions. Love the game because you belong to a long line of fine athletes who have loved it. It is now your legacy. Love the game that so much that you will pass your love of the game to another athlete who has seen your dedication, your work, your challenges, and your triumphs. And then that athlete will, because of you, love the game. Thank you so much for inviting me here today.